agenda for this election?
Cancer, that six-letter word that strikes fear into just anyone. I know why. It is because a diagnosis of cancer is often considered a death sentence. The figures make it more terrifying. 1 in 6 deaths globally is traceable to cancer. Over 100,000 Nigerians are diagnosed yearly with cancer. Out of this number, about 80,000 die from the disease. So an average of 240 Nigerians die every day, or 10 Nigerians every hour from cancer. This is frightening, absolutely, which is why we are all worried about cancer. And so the world is rising up against cancer. On February 4th, World Cancer Day was observed. Now we can't stop talking about cancer, which is why today, on Nigeria Today, our focus is on cancer alert. I'm Wilfred Ewalifu. Yeah, thanks for joining us on the program again. It's Nigeria Today, and we'll be having a discussion with two very important guests on the subject of cancer. First of all, let me introduce a cancer survivor, veteran broadcaster and actor, Sadiq Daba. Welcome to Nigeria Today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And also joining us is Ronsi Chidebe, cancer control advocate and executive director of Project Pink Blue. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
I'm tempted to start with Project Pink Blue, but I'll hold that first of all. Let's get this story that I know that everybody has been, wanting to hear about how the legend Sadiq Daba survived cancer. Sadiq, tell us your encounter with cancer, starting from diagnosis to treatment.
This is just like yesterday. I was here in Abuja. I was doing my normal thing with television. I actually came to do a documentary, and it was a musical documentary for NTA, Soul of High Life we call it. And I thought I had a fever, the usual Nigerian thing. Once you are under the weather and you have a little headache and your body is hot or whatever, you say, oh, I think I have malaria. And I rushed down to the hospital, and Zackley Hospital, and my friends there asked a very funny question. Sadiq, how did you get here? I thought it was a joke, but apparently it was very serious. I says, as far as he was concerned, I should be in the hospital. I said, what are you talking about? I thought this is just a question of a fever. The worst case situation prevails might be malaria. He said, no, this is worse than malaria. And he says to me that in fact he should advise I should get myself to the next available tertiary institution for further medical checkup. And to cut a long story short, Wilfred, I was diagnosed with leukemia, which is another form of cancer. They call it CML. And this is where the white blood cells overwhelm the red one, and your immune system go haywire, and that's how it started. And I don't know, but I think faith had quite a lot to do with it, and luck too, and maybe because of my involvement with NTA, people know me, they give me that extra help. And then I did not know there was a different drug that I could take. But I was placed on the drug that was aggravating my situation. But again, luck, like I said, came to play with it. The consultant that was treating my case at Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, Dr. Balogun, recommended me to Ile-Ife, Obafemi Awolowo University, what happens to be the only center that treats cancer in Nigeria. This I found unbelievable, because I thought Nigeria, being Nigeria, will have so many of them. But that happened to be where it happened. So I went there with a letter, and admission was the next thing, and blood transfusion here and there, and leukemia. But that is not the story, Will. It was, in my case, it was like, it's not only raining, it was pouring. While I was treating leukemia, luckily I got into remission of that. And then lo and behold, another form of cancer, because I guess most people do not know there are several forms of cancer. Now, from leukemia, prostate cancer showed up. And I thought I was dead. But Nigerians, wonderful Nigerians, wonderful, wonderful countrymen and women, stood up for me. But we'll talk about that. But that's how it started.
Yeah. I mean, the cancer was at what stage really when it was diagnosed?
Leukemia was about was reading 1,400 or thereabout, and I was only going on the bend. And then I was placed on a drug called Hydrine, which one way or the other I did not respond well to. In fact, it was aggravating my situation, because the palms of my hands, my nails were all dark, very, very dark. But because I was referred to Obafemi Awolowo University, where they are experts, so to say, in leukemia management, I was placed on another drug that came out newly in the market, and that did the magic.
Okay, well, thanks. It's a sobering story. I mean, once I just put you on hold, I'll come to you. I just want to deal with one or two elements of Sadiq's story. You talked about, I mean, just to correct one thing first of all, Obafemi Awolowo University is not the only university, not the only hospital treating cancer now, because we've done a couple of programs on that. Uthman Danfodio University in Sokoto has what they call the LINAC, which they also use for some form of cancers. And I think the National University here, National Hospital here, also treats cancer to an extent. But you know,
Wilfred, it might interest you to know, and you can take this to the bank and you can cash, because that is a statement of fact. Obafemi Awolowo University, as of right now, if you are a CML patient, that is the only place you go and you're guaranteed or being treated or being managed. Okay. Everybody that I've come across with my ailment from the four corners of Nigeria go to Obafemi Awolowo University every clinic day. That is a Thursday, and it cuts across whether you're educated or you're not educated, whether you're Fulani, whether you're Hausa, whether you're Igbo. They come as far from Maiduguri, all converge in Ile-Ife.
Okay, actually, anyway, after this program, I'll probably refer you to a couple of things. But you know, I mean, did you ever think, because you've heard about cancer several times?
Yes.
Did you ever think that you would come down with cancer?
How on earth will I ever think me, Sadiq, megastar, superhuman, will come across? It's like, it's very far away from me.
Yes, at this point, that's where I bring in Nancy.
Yeah.
Do we all live consistently in denial? Do we think that cancer, we cannot be the next victim of cancer? Is there some awareness about cancer? But first of all, we're talking about early diagnosis.
Yeah.
How much of that is going on? What kind of facilities do we have even for that, going by what Sadiq is saying?
Yeah. Okay, let me start first of all to say there are over 100 types of cancer. You understand? And these 100 types of cancer affect different part of our human body. And out of all these cancers that we all know, some are preventable, some are not preventable. As I speak to you today, I know of a doctor who treats cancer patients. At his 65 years old, he was diagnosed of cancer. So the doctor moved from being a doctor to being a patient. So what does that mean is that any human being on earth can be affected with any type of cancer. But the issue as we all speak today is most Nigerians are aware of cancer. Let me state this clearly. But the thing is that most Nigerians do not have accurate awareness of cancer. These are two different things. So people just know that you talk about cancer, you're just talking about that disease that when you have it you die, or maybe one juju, or one something that they say is not your portion. That is an awareness, but that is inaccurate awareness. So the awareness is extremely poor, most especially in the rural area, most especially in the places where people don't even have access to, some basic health care facilities.
As I openly I talked about the statistics, and how worrisome really the place. But you've also touched on the issue of awareness, and that is the prompt for us to take. These interviews that we had with a number of Nigerians about the level of awareness of cancer.
I don't know what is it, but I know there is a growth in some signs, they say in the lungs, in the breast, or in some say private part cancer. I don't really know what it means.
I know that cancers kill. No, I don't know the causes, but I know that it kills. And it's dangerous to our health.
I don't know much about it, but I know it's a disease that eats up the cells.
The little I know about cancer is mostly on ladies. Though I know we'll have maybe cancer of the uterus, cancer of the womb and all that. So, but for me, I've not really gone for cancer screening before.
Have you gone for cancer screening before?
No. Is there any awareness for it?
Yeah, talking about cancer as going for cancer checkup, I don't think I've done that. I've not.
Well, no. I felt I'm not infected with such.
I don't have any reason whatsoever.
Screening? No. I've never done that. And actually, I've never heard about that being done. That awareness is not there anyway. I'm going to check for cancer. I don't know. And I don't know anywhere it's been done.
Sadiq, all I can just do is probably just shake my head, Well, I mean, what's your reaction to this feedback we're getting?
I just told you. You asked the question, did I ever thought I will? It's just like that, because it's like cancer, where it's not my, what was that local language? It's not my portion, And well, for crying out loud, the key question here, Wilfred, is awareness. Are people aware of what is cancer? Because nobody talks about it. I mean, it's like the young man says there, he thought it has something to do with women, because the hype has been on breast cancer, cancer. But, like, again, there are various forms of this thing. But somebody somewhere has to wake up one day to tell people, wake up guys, this thing is for real. And the early detection saves dying.
Yeah. Ramsey, that's the point really, early detection, You've been involved in this campaign for quite a while, and consistently we have these lectures these campaigns and all, and yet you still have this level of awareness among the people going by the clip you just saw.
Yeah. So you see, one of the reasons why people really report late to cancer is that the screenings are not regular. So in Nigeria, what we have is parodic screenings. People only go to screen when they hear one NGO or one program or one organization or some people are doing screening. Then they go. Afterwards, they move on with their life. Unlike in other parts of the world, once you are at a certain age, it's mandatory. Once you come up, every year you go to your mammogram.
We don't even have a culture of the annual test.
Exactly, you see. So, but there is a strategy that we could use, that we used during the HIV years. Once a woman comes into the hospital, because she is already at reproductive age, and she wants to do her antenatal, she must be subjected to the cervical cancer screening. And once you're a man, you're already 40 years and above, and you are in the hospital for anything, they will mandate you. You must do your PSA. We must check your PSA level before you do any other thing. That's one way we can control it.
But who pays for that test?
So this is how it could work. We could work through this through the NHIS. Unfortunately, NHIS just covers a small number of people. But even if we really are committed to really do it, it's still going to be possible by subsidizing those ductal rectal examinations kit for PSA and all the rest of them.
So we'll come back to what we intend, what we need to do, but I still want to go back to Sadiq's story because it's still, a stirring story that we need to learn from, particularly for our health system. Now let's fast forward a bit. Beyond Ile-Ife, what happened next with you?
Yeah, Ile-Ife, well, that's the CML thing, the leukemia thing. And when the prostate started, I had to go down to Lagos, but that's where I resided anyway. I was feeling uncomfortable, scrotum area and all of that. To pee became something difficult, and it comes in drips and at a point it actually ceased, and to pass urine became so painful. And this particular day, something happened, and I had to call a friend. Now that friend came because he saw me lying down on the floor, and to pee problem. If I want to excrete, becomes another problem, and my whole abdominal side went haywire. I was rushed to the hospital. What do they call this thing? It's a catheter, they call it.
Catheter, yeah.
That will enable me to pass urine. From catheter, they now discovered that the thing has overwhelmed certain situations, certain areas of my body, and that calls for probably surgery. And don't laugh. First, I asked from people, what kind of surgery are you talking about? And they said, of course, maybe part of your testicles will have to, that translates to a what? Don't laugh, don't laugh. Yeah, that got me a little bit scared to say, is there no other option?
But you know that actually that's the first reaction for most men.
But I'm a man, am I not?
Yes, and actually I didn't know of somebody who ultimately lost his life because of that same reaction.
Yeah. So again, Wilfred, I told you about my luck. Yeah. And God bless my stint in NTA. Everybody knows me. So they go the extra mile to want to do the best for me. I came across the best doctor who has urology. She's not only the best in Nigeria, she happens to be the best in West Africa. Her name Abimbola Abolariwa, doctor. And there were other urologists there, but somehow I was referred to her.
Well, you know, Sadiq, you understand television, you know that time is never your friend. So I just want to appreciate, if just in a few minutes, about 1 or 2 minutes, you could, talk about the treatment you received, because that's instructive to what we would need to do here.
That it's two ways. You either go for surgery, you go under the knife, or you go hormonal treatment. And that's exactly what I'm going through now, because that good doctor that I just mentioned says that could also help, and that is helping. And I was flown over to the UK. From the UK I came back, and that's what I'm doing right now. And one word, I survived.
Yeah, that's why we're talking about you being a cancer survivor. I mean, a very lucky man, so always. I wouldn't refer to the many lives you have lived. But Ronsi, now I'd like to talk about the project you're running, Project Pink and Blue. Could you just quickly run us through that?
Yeah. So Project Pink Blue is a cancer fighting organization. What we are engaged in is create awareness. We have translated several cancer informational materials into Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba. We also provide, training to nurses and, healthcare workers, engage in advocacy and other things. Like yesterday, day before yesterday on Saturday, we led a massive awareness walk, in Abuja here, that we had close to 2,000 people on the street, provided free cancer screening, free prostate cancer screening, and cervical cancer screening.
But most of these interventions are in the urban areas. You just talked about the rural areas.
Yeah. So we also do in the rural area. We go across different places. We also do programs in Lagos. We do programs in Anambra. It all depends on how we get our resources and places that we are able to reach out. But you see, as a non-profit, there is a limit to what we can do.
Yeah. Now you just talked about resources now, which brings me back to Sadiq again, the cost of treatment.
Yeah.
It's something else. I mean, it's always, if you're not lucky.
The cost of one injection is 136,000 naira. And the cost of consultants, see, if you're in the UK, costs you about £1,538. Translate that to naira.
700,000 naira, more.
And I was in the UK for 1 month, 1 week. I was in 3 different hospitals. I saw at least 8 different consultants. So would that not give you an idea of cost?
I mean, it actually goes beyond just the issue of cost. It talks about the facilities available to you. It talks about the kind of health system.
That is what I want you to ask. Yes. Facilities, that is the bane that we have to address, Wilfred. Not that the doctors, we don't have them, we have them. In fact, I think on a scale of 1 to 10, Nigerian doctors are 10. They're good, they're absolutely fantastic, but nothing to work with. Environment, nil. Encouragement, zilk. Appreciation, forget it. You have one doctor to about 1,000 patients, to about 2,000 patients. He treats you for headache, for toenail, for earache, one doctor. And at the end of the day, he stays for 1 week on call, and you expect the best out of him? No. And what I realized when I got to the UK was 3/4 of the doctors there are all Nigerians, the good ones.
Yeah.
Here's a funny story. I was supposed to be given an injection, a blood or something. They had to place a cannula on my. They start searching for my vein. I'm very fat.
Yeah.
They couldn't get a vein, and the white man came, tried, he left. The Indian came, he left. The Pakistani came, he left. And so somebody said, let's call Steve. Of course, I was waiting for another white one. And lo and behold, Steve came, and Steve is a Nigerian, an Orobo man from Nigeria. And I think that psychologically played on me, because I decided to get well, because this guy is fantastic.
Your brother.
And 2 minutes he got that vein. 2 minutes that infusion was on. This is a Nigerian.
Yeah.
If we have the equipment here, won't he do it?
We'll do it. I mean, I've got 1 minute to go, I'm told, but just in 30 seconds, from your own perspective, what do we need to do quickly?
I think we need private investment in healthcare. We cannot continue like this in Nigeria. If we continue like this, we can't achieve anything. More people are dying today. because the funding is not there. There is the need for people to invest in healthcare. Healthcare is a serious business. The government needs to show commitment, and private philanthropists need to put the money in there. If you go to the US, healthcare is a serious and big business, and that's why when people are healthy, they can secure a country. When people are healthy, they can work for a better economy. When people are healthy, even NTA will be stronger.
Yeah, thank you very much, Monty. And just a last word from you, Sadiq. You're looking good, by the way. You know, and
looking good, yes. Courtesy of Nigerians, thousands and thousands and thousands of Nigerians who came to my help. Wilfred, I never realized that I was this known. I thought, well, I'm just an ordinary NTA man doing my job. But then, kudos to my station, NTA, and my gratitude to the DG, Yakub Mohammed, who did what he had to do as a brother, as a colleague, and to my NTA family, because this is one big family.
And now you're playing the role of an advocate.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Serious.
For and against. For survivors, for those with cancer, for and against, because I will harass the government because they have to do something. They have to. That is a must.
And what about your last word for those out there?
Go check yourself. It does not cost anything. Walk into the hospital. The doctors are humans. I mean, if you go for a checkup, well, like, we want you to do it regularly. If you cannot do it regularly, once in a while, just go. It's for your own good.
Thank you very much, Sadiq Daba, veteran broadcaster, actor, and most importantly, cancer survivor.
Thank you very much.
For coming, sir.
Thank you, brother.
And once again, thank you very much for joining us, and I wish your campaign the very best.
I appreciate it.
That's been Nigeria Today, and we've been focusing essentially on what we call cancer alive. Many Nigerians are dying of cancer. If they have lost a dear one,